Put your poopy hands together and welcome up Allie Birchie.
I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm going to get an email just by association at this point. I didn't even do anything yet. Oh man, wow. Anybody else nervous? Normally I have 15 seconds to tell you to poop every day, and now I got 15 minutes. Kidding. I think you guys got the message by that. First of all, big thank you to my husband Jared and mom for the awesome breakfast. So big round of applause for them. They're always game for whatever shenanigans come to mind, so thank you for making that happen. There's also a prize before the prize. If you can guess how many eggs that we used, lunch on me. So have a think about that throughout the presentation, and lunch on me, extra little prize. So start tallying up some eggs. All right, so this 15 minutes I feel like goes by really fast just from having been in your seats. And I was like, what do I talk about with this 15 minutes? There's so much. When you really love your subject or your business, yeah, do this for 5 slides. Take up 5 minutes. I really just wanted you guys to get to know me a little bit better, because I feel like nutrition could easily be as controversial as like politics sometimes, depending on our history. And I want to lower those kind of, expectations as far as just thinking it's such a touchy topic. I really want to make it a little bit less dogmatic, really meet the person where they're at and make it fit them. And try to make people a little bit more relaxed about this stuff and have fun with it, hence the poop jokes. Lower everybody's guard a little bit. So I want to just get to know you a little bit better, or you guys get to know me. So here's my professional background, I guess. You can call me a nutrition coach, a nutritionist, functional medicine nutritionist. I'm not a registered dietitian. I didn't want to work in a hospital. I wanted to teach people how to eat, so that was on purpose. But I am alumni of Western Oregon University, so thanks for the biology degree. Master's in human nutrition and functional medicine, nutritional therapy practitioner. That's what got me started, nutrition coach. Almost done with another certification that took another board exam and hours of supervised work. But I started Parkside Nutrition when I was still in grad school. I was like, I want to get working with people. I want to meet people and help them with this stuff, even before I finished school. I don't know if this is going to work. Thank you. But I always find people's stories really interesting, because even if I've met you guys and I'm like, oh gosh, well, when I met my husband, I was like, God, you're a financial advisor. It's so boring. Turns out not. Super happy. Went on that date. But hearing people's stories and why they do what they do, I feel like is just so profound and like really, sends the message home and you get to know them a lot better. So this is my why. This is my beautiful family. And my dad here. I actually grew up in England, so that's my horse in England and old dog. But the reason I got started, I was going to Western Oregon to be a physician's assistant. Thought I wanted to work in the medical industry, and that could have been a great career as well. But my dad passed away when I was 23. I just graduated college, and that's like the worst experience, right? Losing a parent. So I wanted to be on the preventative side. I wanted to work in preventative medicine, teach people how to eat, how to live, so that hopefully they don't get that type of diagnosis. If we can prevent that 20, 30 years down the line, or before it even happens, I feel like that's a really, really awesome thing to do with your career. Next. So that's my mission. I want to teach people how to eat. Ironically, both of my parents are teachers, and I said, I'm never going to be a teacher. I just talk about vegetables a lot, and protein and bowel movements. And so I'm teaching people how to eat so they can live in a way that hopefully prevents a terrible diagnosis way, way, way before it occurs. And hopefully if I teach adults how to eat well, they teach their kids how to eat well. It doesn't need to be a stressful thing. It doesn't need to be a restrictive thing. It can be fun. And then it's just easy, right? So hopefully 2 generations, I'm out of work. I don't need a job. Maybe I'm working with people with specific medical issues, but that prevention can go so far. And that really comes down to just keeping families together longer. I don't really know what else has a bigger impact in my eyes, given my interests. So what is nutrition coaching? I feel like there's so many different models, and just people do it, or practitioners do it so differently. And it's very different from what you might do or see from a dietitian in a hospital. And for me, I think most people can picture a personal trainer, right? They're watching your form in the gym, they're making sure you deadlift correctly, you're not going to hurt your back, and hopefully that good form in the gym translates to at home. When you're in your garden lifting a heavy wheelbarrow, those skills still apply, right, if they do their job right. And I want to do the same thing with food. Whether you are crazy busy and have no time running around all over the place, I want to solve those problems and still make sure that you can eat well. Or if you're on vacation, on a beach in Mexico, like what is moderation, still having fun on vacation, but still not, eating ourselves sick or whatever. I want to make sure you have good form in all of those scenarios with nutrition. I want to make it easy. I want to make it really relaxed. I don't want you to be stressed about it. I want to take away that stress. If you're wondering about, is this good? Is that good? Should I be having something else? What am I missing? What supplements are good? We'll talk about it. And all within your lifestyle, your means, and your preferences. So my goal is to take the stress away and outsource a lot of that thinking. Good form of nutrition. To me, that means mindful eating. So not overeating. Whether you're eating broccoli or brownies, if you overeat, it just doesn't feel good, right? And I think that's really missed with a lot of nutrition. We talk about calories, macros, what supplements should I take? I'm like, how often do you overeat? How does that feel afterwards? Not good, right? I was in grad school when I suffered with disordered eating, and it's not fun. I was eating probably like the healthiest possible, meals you could, but I still didn't feel good. So that's a really important part, addressing your relationship with food. Your digestion. Lots of poop jokes today. I really appreciate that. But hopefully it's just a smooth process just happening in the background. I'll contain myself, I promise. There's not too many left. I want it to be sustainable. I want you to have a healthy body composition. A lot of people, when they find out I'm a nutritionist, they'll either be like, oh, this donut's just a one-off, or don't look in my grocery store or grocery cart, or I'm starting a diet on Monday. This happens a lot, and I'm just like, I'm not judging you. I have no idea your background. I have no idea what you're doing every day, or your lifestyle, or your stresses, or anything like that. So I don't want you to think that. I'm not looking at people's body composition. I just want you to be healthy. Your family wants you to be healthy. Your family wants you to be here for a really long time. But I do want you to have a healthy body weight you're comfortable with, or body composition, because you need a good body to have a really high quality of life. Do the things that you want. Keep doing your hobbies until you're well into your 80s and 90s. That would be awesome. And to do that, usually for functional medicine especially, we're trying to strive for ultimate health. That'd be cool too. Optimal health, and not just the absence of disease. Absence of disease is great, but ideally, I want a really high quality of life for as long as I can maintain it. Next one. All right, so one-on-one coaching. So it starts with a call. I don't feel like I'm a big salesy person. As you can tell, I just want to help people. I love talking about this stuff. So I always start with just a free introductory call. I want to get to know you. I want to make sure that my skill set matches your goals. If you want to get super, super lean and ripped for a bodybuilding stage, not my thing. Not that good at it. If you want a personal trainer or a exercise program, not my thing. There's so many people that do that better than me. I want to talk to you about your nutrition, your lifestyle. I want to make all those pieces fit together. And we do that with a lot of accountability. So the first call that we have, if we do want to work together, it's about an hour and a half. I get to know your lifestyle, I get to know your medical history, and then we're talking every week with any questions that you need answered in between. There's no added fees. I bill like a gym membership, so if something comes up and you have a question, you're at the grocery store and you're like, should I buy this and this? Text me. People don't believe me, but it is, I want to be that ahead of the game as far as solving problems before they even become problems. I don't want you to think about like, oh, is this right, is this bad, did I really mess up? None of that. So a lot of accountability. I'll obviously kind of create a plan, but I try to hold on to that in the sense of like distribute it as we need it, instead of being like, here's 6 pages of a meal plan that you should, go work on for the next 3 to 6 months. That's kind of hard to do. People usually need small steps each week, and talking about what they've got going on that next week and making sure that our expectations are actually realistic for that next week. And then we have a lot of accountability. Like I said, talking every week. If anything comes up in between, all my one-on-one clients also get access to the group program as well, because there's a little fun competition with that. So how is this different? Like I said, no hidden fees, no expensive packages. You're not going to buy like 6 months up front or anything like that. There's no expensive lab testing. I can tell a lot by just the basic labs you get from your PCP and general providers. No mandatory supplements. It's all catered to you. No templates, no company affiliations. When people ask like, oh, what company are you with? What supplement company? I'm like, it's me. It's me. I'm the CEO, janitor, everything. I'm me. Just me, my experience, and education. That's what it goes off of. It includes meal plans. We'll look at your blood work, lifestyle. I can't tell you how much of the routine, just learning what your day-to-day life is like, how important that is. Because a lot of people just think that they lack discipline or motivation. They'll tell me about their day. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a lot. That's a lot to deal with. And then we find ways to solve those problems. Supplement recommendations, if they're appropriate, but I always try to reiterate, I'm like, the food, the lifestyle is more powerful than most supplements you could possibly buy. And if you have the budget for that, I'm going to tell you the tools that I think are relevant and helpful, but I'm not going to say, like, you have to have this supplement that's going to make you feel so much better. Rarely is that the case. It's usually lifestyle, and the food itself is way more powerful and way more impactful. Weekly accountability, lots of support. On the previous slide, I said no research required. Just because we want to do a lot of research, I learned very quickly that not everybody wants to be a nutritionist, right? So if you have a question, ask me. You don't need to go get a master's in this to have good results and be successful. Next one. The Habit Kickstarter. This is the group program. I absolutely love this. I think this is where my teaching heritage comes into play. Because we have a group call. And we still have one-on-one calls. I've played around with different models in the past, but people need to talk to people. So even if you're on like the lowest tier of services, I'm still talking with you potentially 6 times in a month. So we have 2 of our own one-on-one calls and then a group call every single week. So you still have a lot of support. Everybody is kind of on the same playing field as far as the points that they get. So you get a point for drinking your water, writing down your food, whether it's perfect or not. There's no perfect food, by the way. Going for a walk, exercising, and trying to get at least 7 hours of sleep each night. Those are personalized to the person, but those are the categories. So if you get all the habits done, get the most points, I think it's 150 points possible in a month, you get money towards your groceries that next month. So you get paid for doing the things. You don't get paid for losing weight. That way everybody's on the same playing field. Those are the basic habits that we cater to you, but that usually lead to a healthier human. So that's my favorite one because we also talk about mini topics each week. So we get to teach a little bit about nutrition, and again, in a pretty disarming, fun way. Next one. How am I doing on time?
You got 3 minutes.
Oh, awesome. All right, well, I'll tell you a little bit of the history before I get into this of the poop every day thing. You think it's all my fault. It's actually Barron's fault. He told me when I first came to Greeters, he's like, you got to make it memorable, Allie. You got to talk about poop. I was like, Barron, I don't know these people. But the first time I met Barron, I told him about a story. I used to work while I was in grad school in a primary care clinic, and I can see this lady's, all of her diagnoses. I'm like, man, this got to be like some serious symptoms she's dealing with. And she kept saying, no, I'm fine. I'm like, God, how many times do you poop every day? That's finally what I asked her. She's like, oh, not every day. I'm like, well, how often in a week? She's like, once or twice. So that's my PSA, the hill that I'll die on, is that you guys should be pooping. Once a day is good. Multiple times it's fine. Quality also matters too, not just about quantity. But that's where that came from, as just a way to keep us all healthy. But anyway, if you are interested in following along, I put a ton of my effort into sharing free shit all the time. So you can follow along on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. The best concentrated place, I get it if you don't want to be on social media, I send all my best resources, free resources, to the Free Shit Friday email list. That's the QR code at the top. So you get a bunch of free shit every Friday delivered right to your email. It's usually a recipe that I probably sent to a client, a tool or a new podcast episode, and usually a question to ask yourself. So I try to keep it pretty succinct and valuable. And then also the pre-diet podcast, which is on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, goes out weekly. And again, I think I'm trying to put myself out of a job with that one too. So I share a lot of free advice. It's meant to be like 20, 30 minutes, perfect to like go for a walk and just listen to. If you guys are interested in any nutrition services, whether that be speaking engagements for your employees, I also do a lot of those. One-on-one services, the group, if you want a group wellness program for your office, that's also available. And if anybody just reaches out by Monday, you don't have to sell anything or buy anything by then, but just if you're interested, go ahead and just either contact me, or the QR code at the bottom has an application. Just tell me what you're interested in, we can have a conversation. Cool.